Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Rice Report. It's been a while since we've done our last report, and I wanted to let you know that there have been a lot of great things that have been happening here at the Montgomery County Council. It's a great honor to be able to represent you as your District 2 representative, but it was an even greater honor for me to fly abroad globally to represent Montgomery County as well. Some of you may not know or be familiar with our Sister Cities program that we've established under the leadership of County Executive Ike Leggett. I had the opportunity to travel to both South Korea and to China and was able to link up with various businesses as well as the education community in both of those jurisdictions. And we've actually reaped some great benefits. Green Cross Cell, the very first meeting that we had as a biotech company in South Korea, who was looking to come to the mainland United States. Our very first night flying in, right after we touched down in South Korea, we had a meeting with their executives. Just 2 weeks later, those executives flew here to the United States, right here to Montgomery County, Maryland, to already start taking a look at different potential sites where they could set up a new headquarters. This talks about our global competitiveness. We oftentimes talk about what we can do as a region, and how we can best place ourselves in the nation. But the reality is that this world has grown so small, and it really is one in which we need to make sure that we're making connections worldwide. And so I'm very happy that David Petter, our CEO of our Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, and his team, along with the county executive and myself, and operatives from Montgomery College are all working hand in hand to make sure that this business locates right here in Montgomery County. But the trip didn't end there, because that was just the beginning. We actually were able to sign an agreement with Daejeon, which is one of the largest cities in South Korea. It was a great opportunity to meet with some of the local elected council members there and talk about some of the same issues that we face right here in Montgomery County. But more importantly, we signed a sister city agreement with them that also included our school system, so that we can learn from one of the highest quality systems in the world about some of the things that we can do better to make sure that our students can do better and that they can be even more globally competitive.
Can you say that again?
Yes, we are grateful for your partnership, and together we will continue this important work of providing professional and cultural learning experiences for our teachers and students.
네, 저희는 저희 교사와 학생들을 위해서 이러한 업무 협약을 통해서 서로 전문적이고 문화적으로 교류하고 배울 수 있는 것에 대해서 감사하게 생각합니다.
It was a great opportunity for us with Montgomery College as well. Our president of Montgomery College, Dr. Darian Pollard, was along on this journey and signed an agreement, which was fantastic, with Chungnam University. Chungnam University is a great university that deals with a lot of the technical aspects, including biotech, computer science, and are on the cutting edge. And it really is great to see an established relationship between Montgomery College and Chungnam University. And when we left South Korea, we headed to China, to Xi'an, one of the largest provinces in Shanghai. And it was a great opportunity to do the same thing again, to meet with businesses there, to understand what their needs are, and to look at ways in which they could expand to the United States, specifically into Montgomery County. We signed a sister city agreement with Xi'an, and I also had the opportunity to meet with the Minister of Education there to talk about how our two cities or counties can work together. And it was a phenomenal opportunity to really learn about how one of the highest performing education systems in the world wants to work with Montgomery County, Maryland. It really is one in which we continue to make sure that Montgomery County is firing on all cylinders. And as we heard from both our counterparts in South Korea and China, they have a great respect for what we do, because we're very committed to the overall goal of ensuring that Montgomery County is one of the best places to live, work, and play. To that end, we know that we're judged oftentimes by how we treat people or sometimes animals that don't have a voice. And so I'm happy to see that Montgomery County is on the forefront of passing a circus animal ban. This is one in which this bill prohibits traveling circuses that we know, unfortunately, in many cases end up abusing animals or having these animals in conditions that are not right for them, and saying that that's not right for Montgomery County. That's not what our values are. We truly believe in the fair and equitable treatment of all of our animals. That's incredibly important for us. And so I'm very happy to have sponsorship of my bill from a majority of council members here. It's going to be important for us to say, how we treat our animals here in Montgomery County. We already have a no-kill shelter. We're already looking at other forms of legislation in which we can continue to protect our animals here, and I think this is a right step for us. But it also means that we're looking at not only understanding our future, but we also have to understand our past. I actually am the lead sponsor of a bill dealing with cemeteries in Montgomery County. We, for a very long time, have known that we have historic cemeteries that are throughout Montgomery County that unfortunately have oftentimes been forgotten. So this piece of legislation actually makes sure that we're assigning all of these cemeteries to a registry. We're limiting our planning board in terms of their actions that can be done until we determine the boundaries of that cemetery. And in addition, what we need to do is make sure that we're focusing on protecting the areas where a lot of our historic leaders and figures have been buried. Again, it's simply the right thing to do. These pieces of legislation may seem small on their face, but they really make a big difference in terms of showcasing why it is that people choose to live here in Montgomery County.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes.
But one of the largest ones that we've been able to tackle is our minimum wage. People have talked all too long about how hard it is to live here in Montgomery County on the wages that are currently paid.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous vote.
And so to that end, we wanted to make sure that we passed a wage that was fair and equitable. The reality is that when we look at the minimum wage bill, I was deeply concerned about its impact on our young people, especially young people of color.
A young black person who walks into a store is less likely to be employed than their white counterparts. The statistics are clear. And unless we continue to talk about those issues and ensure that those kinds of challenges are removed as barriers from young people for employment, we are not giving everybody their fair share.
We know that their unemployment rates are significantly higher than their counterparts, and it means that those young people aren't benefiting from a higher minimum wage because they don't even have jobs. So we need to double down on our investments in workforce development, as well as making sure that we have strategic programs that are in place that promote employment for these young people.
How you doing, Mr. Rice?
Councilmember Rice.
Nice to see you.
And so in my conversations with my colleagues, all who were supportive of the minimum wage, I asked them for their support to ensure that we had money that was coming in to increase programs like Conservation Corps, TeenWorks, and the brand new Summer Rise program. We need to make sure that these young people have gainful employment that starts them on the pathway to self-sufficiency. That is my goal, and it is my hope that my colleagues will be supportive as we approach this upcoming budget year. So I wanted to close by telling you that there's been a lot of work that's been done, but there's still so much more that needs to be done as well. So whether it's dealing with fixing our transportation woes, which includes clogged I-270, building new roads like M83, ensuring that we have robust transportation options for mass transit like our Corridor City Transitway and Bus Rapid Transit, ensuring that we alleviate some of the problems that we're seeing in our schools when it comes to overcrowding by ensuring that some of those stay on track when it comes to our renovations and expansions. It really is important for us to continue pressing on the gas pedal. We can't stop. We have to continue to make sure that we're delivering for you and that you continue to believe that Montgomery County is one of the best places to live, work, and play. That's always been my goal. That's always been the reason why I've served here as your county council district representative. And it's why I want to continue to work not just in this upcoming year, but for 4 more years, in making sure that we can work together to make Montgomery County the place we know it can be. A place that supports everyone, a place that allows everyone to be successful, a place that folks look up to, as we saw from our counterparts halfway across the world. So I thank you again for tuning in to another edition of the Rice Report. You can always reach out to my office and let me know about any issues that you care about. You can always reach me in my office at 240-777-7955. You can reach out to me on Twitter, it's @RicePolitics, or on Facebook, Councilmember Craig Rice. Again, I thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Rice Report. Take care, and God bless.